in April, I mentioned that I was making a pair of Kingdom Hearts inspired Mickey ears. In those videos, I showed me cutting out a bunch of pieces of paper in the shapes of crowns and hearts. Sometime in the last few months, I used a bunch of wood glue to put them all together. I applied a thin layer of wood glue to every single one of those pieces of paper and put them directly on top of each other, stacking them as best I could. Here they are all glued together. This is the heart. As you can see, the edges are not perfectly flat. There's a bit of a ripple there, but I imagine that I can fix that later. And here's the crown. A lot of surface area, so they had a lot of glue, but basically the same issues. Could not get direct alignment for all of the tips. After that, I used some other crafting skills to make a Keyblade. The Keyblade is made of a single dowel that runs through the entire part of it, and then I sculpted the key head and the handle with polymer clay, and then because I didn't do it right the first time, I added some of the elements with hot glue. So now I have three-dimensional shapes of all the components of the ears that I want to put together. I got some silicone molding putty and I pressed all of those things into it. So you guys can see, here is where I pressed in the crown, here is where I pressed in the heart, this is where I pressed in the Keyblade I made, this is where I pressed in a Keyblade pendant that I already had, this guy is where I pressed in a pin of the Kingdom Hearts heart that I had, and I don't remember what this is for, so I should figure that out sometime in the near future. So now I need to figure out the volume of each of these pieces, figure out how to use epoxy resin to fill all of them, do that, let them set, and then take them out and sand them down, and hopefully I will have something that looks good. After that, I can start construction on actually making the set of ears. Once I do my research and order the epoxy resin, I will move on to those steps, hopefully soon. So, to be continued.